Hi, welcome to Not Just Books. I'm Dolores Greenwald, Director of the Williamson County Public Library. Thank you for joining us. In our Your World segment, we'll be interviewing Honora Bates. She's a representative donor resource development with the American Red Cross. We will be discussing their blood drives in the Williamson County area. In our Save the Date segment, we'll be speaking with Sally Lee and Louise Colln with the Writers Critique Group. This is a wonderful group of writers which meet on the first and third Saturdays of each month from 10:30 a.m. until noon and provide authors with serious, courteous critique of their work. In our What's Hot in Books segment, we'll focus on vacation books with Cindy Rooks, reference librarian here at the main library. What are some of the popular destinations for Williamson County residents to vacation? And what are some of the books that we have that can help you provide for that long-awaited trip? Stay tuned to find out. We'll be right back with the Your World segment. Did you know that the library has a memorial program? Contributions may be made in honor of and in memory of individuals and families at all branch libraries. Larger contributions may be designated to make ongoing purchases of materials or to purchase furnishings or other equipment. Please note that these items will not carry a donor plate. You can call 615-595-1242 extension 4, 9 a.m. through 4 p.m. Monday through Friday with any questions.
She's got all these new friends, and I know they're not necessarily the best crowd.
Want to build a relationship at home where your teen is free to share their feelings? Take time to talk.
Oh, well, first of all, I'm glad you got invited for prom.
Take time to listen.
I don't want to make her upset.
If your teenager wants to tell you something, give them your undivided attention. Let home be the place where you talk about subjects that are fun and about subjects that are difficult. Don't know where to start? Books can help. Regardless of the book you choose, after reading it, take time to discuss what you've read and talk about their feelings and concerns.
If I was in that situation, would I be able to do it or not, you know?
Right. Remember, your teen's ideas are important, and your ability to listen is key to fostering a positive home environment. This Choose Success moment has been brought to you by the Middle Tennessee P16 Council.
Hi, welcome back. In our Your World segment today, we have a special treat, and we have Honora Bates. She's a representative donor resource developer with the American Red Cross. Honora, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Dolores. I'm so glad to be here.
What a title that is. Can you remember that title?
That's okay.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be here in Williamson County with the Red Cross.
Okay. Well, I actually worked for the American Red Cross in Missouri about 3.5 years ago, and my husband transferred down here with his job, and at the time we decided, I would stay home with the kids. So we've been down here about 3 years, and I've decided to come back to work, and so I came back to the Red Cross here in Nashville in March.
Well, we're glad to have you here in Williamson County. How do you set up your donor locations and your drives?
So we reach out to a lot of different organizations to see if they have a large enough population to sustain their own blood drive. And a lot of times we are contacted by organizations who are interested in helping out. So we do a lot of searching for groups ourselves, but then we are also approached a lot by groups. We like to go into schools as well. They provide a really great base of donors for us. So we're certainly able to approach them and work with them on a regular basis.
I know last year you had a competition among some high school students, and they came and gave it the library, and it was very successful.
Yes, and we are having another one of those. Toward the end of July, we'll be there in the library, and it's the Williamson County High School Blood Drive Challenge, and we've got students from various high schools in the area, and they are going to be helping us recruit donors, and it should be a lot of fun for them.
What are some of the needs that Williamson County residents have?
Sure. On a daily basis, we serve about 60 hospitals in the area, and it means that we have to collect about 600 units of blood in the Tennessee Valley region to meet those needs. So we have blood drives going on every single day, and we're constantly, collecting units and distributing them to the hospitals.
And if someone wants to donate blood, how do they go about that?
The best way to find a blood drive is to visit our website, www.redcrossblood.org, and you can enter your zip code into our website, and it will populate either fixed site locations, which are, our primary one is downtown Nashville, and then it will also give you blood drives that are within a certain distance of your zip code that you've entered.
Now, what are some of the restrictions for donating?
Well, we just want to make sure that you are well and healthy on the day of donation. There may be some other specific restrictions based on your medical history, but if you have any questions about that, I highly encourage you to call our 1-800-RED CROSS number before you come in to donate, or come to the blood drive and ask our collections staff. The restrictions change sometimes daily.
Oh, wow,
so,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's kind of a tough question to answer, but we ask that you come and ask our collection staff, and they can answer it for you.
If someone wishes to donate, if they can't donate blood and they would like to donate money, how do they do that?
Sure. The best way to do that would probably be to contact our chapter office, and you can find their information on our Red Cross website. Or you can call 1-800-RED CROSS, and they'll be able to connect you as well.
So what are some of the local Red Cross volunteers doing in Oklahoma and some of the areas that's had the tornadoes recently?
Sure. We sent about 6 different volunteers to Oklahoma and 3 disaster trucks, and they were able to help, provide food and clothing and just address some of the basic needs that people had after that tornado hit the area. And
you guys are ready at any point to go and when a disaster hits?
We are, and it doesn't have to be, an entire town is hit by a tornado or something. It can be, just one individual family that needs help. Most recently, there was a fire in my neighborhood, and the Red Cross came out and helped that individual family. So, if anything like that happens, the Red Cross is certainly there, and if people want to reach out to us, we're more than happy to help.
Well, it is a great organization, and thank you, Honora, for coming. And if you want to check about blood drives at the library, you can also check on our website, wcpltn.org. But Honora, give us that website one more time.
It's www.redcrossblood.org. And there's all sorts of information about donating blood on there, and you'll be able to find blood drives in your area as well.
Well, thanks again for joining us today. And thank you for watching, and we will return shortly with our Save the Date segment.
Where can I find out about the Venus flytrap?
Where can I research information on my business competitors?
What is the safety record on the car I want?
Where can I research careers?
Where?
I'm all shook up.
The Tennessee Electronic Library. That's where. And it's free to everyone in our state. Now go to your public library and find out how you can log on and get your password to a world of information just for living in our state. You can probably even figure out the password just by listening to my voice.
Hey, I'm all shook up.
Welcome back. In our Save the Date segment today, we have 2 special Williamson County residents here with us, Sally Lee and Louise Colln. Both are members of the Writers' Critique Group, which meets on the first and third Saturday of each month at 10:30 a.m. until noon at the main library on Columbia Avenue here in Franklin. And thank you both for joining us today. What a treat it is to have you here with us. Sally, tell us a little bit about how the Writers' Critique Group started.
We have trouble remembering when it started. So I'm going to say that it started in the midst of history. Louise and I have known each other for a pretty long time, and there was a group in Franklin called the Council for the Written Word, And somehow someone suggested a critique group, and we met in various different places. We met in churches, and we met at various different times. We sort of experimented with this and that. And then it got so I'm not supposed to drive at night after a while, and so that was and we started trying to meet in the library meeting rooms, but the library meeting rooms are used, by lots of people. And one day Janice Keck said, would we like the boardroom? Yes! We would love the boardroom. And so they unlock it for us every Saturday morning. It's locked, and we, the reference librarians know us. Works out beautifully.
Well, good. And so you've been meeting there almost since the building's been open?
Not at
the
very beginning.
Not at the very, okay.
I can't quite remember how many years we've been there, but it's been several years now.
It's been quite a long time.
Okay. Well, Louise, how'd you become involved in this group?
Sally and I have worked well together since she was president and I was secretary for Council for the Written Word. And we have planned workshops, and we have conducted workshops together. And when she decided that she wanted to do a critique group, it spoke to me because I do like to read manuscripts of my friends that have not been published yet. And sometimes I can make a small suggestion that maybe makes it a little bit better. And I enjoy doing this. So when Sally decided she wanted to do a critique group, I just automatically became a part of it.
Well, if someone is interested in having their writing evaluated and would like to come to the meeting, do they just show up, or?
Just show up.
They just show up. But you have to understand that it depends on how many people they have. And anyone may show up anytime. So we don't have control over the size, which is really different from most critique groups. So you come and we decide to count the people and then divide the time. So it's not like, we did a spin-off for the novelists. There's a group of novelists who meet because we can't really help people who have a very long piece.
Okay.
Because, you have 4 minutes to read, and then we talk about it a little bit. Sometimes there's a max of 10 minutes, sometimes 6, sometimes 15.
Sometimes we get off on the wrong subject.
And then not everyone has the same length. So if a poem is very short, then there's a little more time for something else. Or sometimes a topic just seems of interest to everybody. That's when we get off.
That's when we get off on the wrong.
Fruitfully, and we talk about that. Well, it's always a writing issue of some sort.
There's a lot of poetry read and a lot of short stories. And essays and such.
And sometimes you can only read half of your short story, and then you have to read the other half 2 weeks later. And so we don't want people to feel that they're going to come and get a teaching sort of situation. It's a friends, and some of the critiquing is really good. There's some writers in there who are very, very good.
Well, I was going to mention that. Most of the regular members of the group have published, is that right? Or is that true?
Publishing is not our thrust.
Okay.
Our thrust is good writing.
Okay.
I would say anyone who's interested in learning something about publishing would be disappointed with us. We know a little bit about it.
We do have some people who come just to listen and feel that they learn just hearing the good writers read and hearing what we talk about.
Now recently, probably somewhat with the rise of self-publishing, more of us, you'd be the only person published in the room.
Well, for a long time I
was. She's published commercially, she has several novels out, so she would be the only one, the rest of us would just be writing. And now there are more people. One man said, you can publish anything if you just edit the heck out of it. And he is a really rigorous editor of his own work. He really does, and he's a great contributor to the group as a whole because we've recently had more men come. And their writing is truly vigorous.
Interesting.
Now sometimes it's quite subtle also, but and we don't go around and have everyone say what they think.
Okay. I
That
was gonna
takes a
ask
long
about that,
time.
yeah.
This is process. You read, and then usually I respond first because I really believe that to know your strengths is very important. So we talk about strengths first, and then it's just, and then I'll say, sometimes I don't need to say anything. Everybody's already talking. But then you say, does anybody else have an idea? And lots of times it just deals with one word, or sometimes it deals with a piece, or sometimes we've gotten confused. And if we're confused about what's going on, then they need to know that, you know, especially in a story. And we don't have to tell them how to straighten it out. They'll know, the reader's confused.
No.
But anyone who has a thought about what is being read is welcome to express the thought. It isn't just Sally and me doing
No,
the
we're not the teachers. We're the facilitators.
Okay.
And she calls herself the timekeeper.
I call myself the timekeeper.
Okay.
And I'm her assistant.
Assistant timekeeper. So that's what we call it. And there's no formal organization to this group. We are the timekeepers just because we say so. And if neither of us are there, it's a group of grown-ups. One of them, you know, somebody who's come often would just take the leadership. It's a simple format. But it means that when you use the word evaluate, that's a big word for us. We don't use that word
Okay.
because that would involve, you know, if someone, there are groups where you email the things and everybody's read ahead of time, and you know, it's a quite different process. Our process is hearing it and reacting to it. So, and there's one man whose work is quite subtle, and I'll get lost in his short stories just because he's subtle. I would need to read all those stories twice, but he's also really impressive. You know, when you get to the end of the short story, you're really impressed. But he's been a professional. He was a college professor, head of a drama department for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
At Pepperdine University. So, you know, he's really skilled in putting these things together. And some of us are very unskilled. There's one woman who comes who doesn't read very often because she says she's an artist.
Oh, okay.
And she says, I'm trying to learn to write. And she said, I'm learning a lot from y'all. Just I'm not showing it to you, but I'm learning a lot. And her writing was awkward when she started.
To put it in its very short words, we tell them we do critique, but we critique gently.
Okay.
Courteous is a real important word.
I would think, especially if the first couple of times that I would have my work reviewed, I would be very nervous.
Oh, people are.
And anyone is welcome to come just to listen.
A lot of people come and just listen the first time, even the first 2 times. Or we've had some really good poets who came in for a year, read us their dog stories.
Oh.
You know? And then finally they read us a poem. And several people who turned out to be extremely sensitive and profound poets. We didn't hear their poetry for 2 years. We heard their prose.
Interesting.
And others read the very first time. Also, I wanted to make sure to say it's okay to come late, it's okay to leave early.
Okay.
We're not strict about that.
Okay.
We have one person, one of our beautiful poets, is always late. And yes, come in quietly and sit down quietly, but it's okay. And courteous is a really important thing. We do not slash and burn.
Okay.
Which some critique groups apparently do.
Gentle is the word.
We do ask that you be 21 years old. We had a 14-year-old for a while, lovely boy. But grown-ups deal with difficulties, like personal difficulties, with humor. And adolescents are just too young for that.
Okay.
They just really can't understand what we're all roaring about breast cancer, you know. And that boy just couldn't laugh about breast cancer. And we decided that we would make that subtle limit.
So if someone wants to find out more about this group, they can just come.
Just show up.
Just show up on the first and third Saturday of each month.
And if they don't know where it is in the library, the librarians downstairs will tell them.
Can go, yeah.
Yeah, it's on the second floor, but you can ask any librarian and they usually send you in the right direction. And whoever gets there first, the librarians open the door for us. And they recognize a number of us. It doesn't have to be one of us. And so if you knew and you got there too early, you might be locked out until somebody came.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. What a treat. And we will return with What's Hot in Books. Thank you.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Good friends. Goodbye.
It's too late for my son, Cade. I used to think these things could never happen to me, my family. Technology already exists that can eliminate the blind zone. Please protect your children and equip your vehicle. Don't back blind. See the children.
Hello. Goodbye.
Hi, welcome back. In our What's Hot with Books segment, we will be talking about popular vacation destinations and books that the library has available to help you plan your trip. Today, we're extremely privileged to welcome Cindy Rooks. Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Dolores.
She is a reference librarian here at the main library in Franklin on Columbia Avenue. And among her many tasks, she is responsible for ordering and maintaining our travel books. So please help me welcome Cindy. Thank you so much for coming here today.
Well, thank you. Pleased to be here.
And Cindy, what brought you here to Williamson County and to work for the library?
Well, we moved here from the Detroit area about 13 years ago with my husband's job, and we've been here ever since. I've been at the library about 10 years now.
Well, good, and we're glad to have you at the library. How many titles do we own for travel books?
In our travel area, we have about 400 titles, and at least half or a bit more are domestic travel, United States, and the other almost half would be international or foreign travel.
Okay. So I noticed that you brought some books with you today. I see one on national parks. Which one is?
Yes.
You want to share that one with us?
Yes. This is, these go out, check out quite a bit. This happened to be one that was still on the shelf, so I brought it to show. A lot of interest in our national parks, not only in East Tennessee, the Smoky Mountains, but other national parks around the country as well. A popular destination for families in the summer for our Williamson County families.
And what do we have that focuses on Tennessee?
Yes, we do have quite a few things, and some new things as well that have just come in recently. And we do have, I wanted to show you the hiking books, since that's quite popular as well. These are best hikes near Nashville, so you don't have to go far.
No.
And
what do they call that? Staycation, when you vacation in the area that you live?
Yes, just a few miles away, so you don't have to spend a night and can stay in the area. And this one just came in. Very popular hiking area, of course, East Tennessee, the Great Smoky Mountains. And this is Middle Tennessee, well, generally the Cumberland Plateau. And those deal with hiking, if you enjoy doing that. If you are visiting or want to visit other cities in Tennessee, of course, this includes Nashville and Memphis. And inside, of course, places to visit, places to stay, things you must-sees for that area. And a little slimmer volume is Chattanooga, Knoxville, or East Tennessee. And then one just for Memphis. And then this includes the entire state. So, and that's a recent addition to the library as well.
And what are some of the areas when people travel outside the U.S. that they like to find books about?
Yes, when they travel outside the United States, London and England are very popular. I couldn't bring one today because they are all checked out, which is very pleasing. And Paris is quite popular as well. And I think Ireland, there were no books on the shelf about Ireland. They're all checked out.
Oh.
And Great Britain, generally. And I guess that's the main interest there, the main focus.
If you live in this area and you're not really interested in hiking, what are some of the other areas in the United States you can go?
Well, the Gulf Coast, of course, is a big draw since we're not that far away. Maybe 7 hours to the Florida Panhandle area and the Alabama Gulf Coast. But I did bring some books on Florida and Florida Gulf Coast, which includes Destin, and
that's a popular spot, Destin.
Very popular spot, and many families go there. I think summertime and maybe year-round as well. But yes, very popular. Just a few hours drive away, and of course on the other side of the or more eastern, northeastern Florida, central. Of Florida. Of course, our Disney World, yes, and we were fortunate to have a couple of books on the shelf. They're usually out, this time of year, but we do have several. So we do have Walt Disney World, and there's also a book on Universal Studios as well. I didn't bring that with me. And then after Disney, the other Orlando, things to do besides go to the theme park.
Oh, that's good.
Other things you'd like to see as well while you're there.
Well, as our viewers can tell, we have quite a few books on travel and that can help you plan your vacation this summer. And thank you so much for joining us today, Cindy.
Well, thank you, Dolores.
And please stay tuned for our closing segment. Did you know that the library has meeting rooms that are available at the Maine, Fairview, and Nolensville libraries for use by local and nonprofit groups and organizations? Please review the meeting room policy prior to contacting staff to make a reservation. Meeting room reservations require a minimum of 2 weeks' notice and a signed guideline agreement prior to the meeting. For further information, you can go to our website, wcpltn.org, or call 615-595-1250. Thank you so much for joining us for Not Just Books. I'd like to thank our special guests for joining us. Honora Bates, Representative Donor Resource Development with the American Red Cross, Sally Lee and Louise Colln with the Writers Critique Group, Cindy Rooks, Reference Librarian here at the Williamson County Public Library in Franklin. If you have any comments or suggestions for future programs, please contact me. The email address is notjustbooks@williamson-tn.org. You can leave comments at the library's website, wcpltn.org. And until next time, explore your world and read.